Well, hello again. Welcome to ChessBase Workshop. I'm Steve Lopez. Thanks for clicking on that link and joining us. What we're looking at here, in case you haven't seen it yet and you're scratching your head wondering what this is ChessBase 11. Came out about mid-October, and it does things a little bit differently than the previous few versions of ChessBase. ChessBase has undergone redesigns through the years. You may recall back in the mid-90s when the first Windows version of ChessBase came out, and it retained that look for about 4 versions, counting a couple of intermediate versions in there. Then starting with ChessBase 8, as I remember, ChessBase was redesigned to look more like the standard Microsoft layout. Basically, Microsoft Office rules the world, and people like to have all their programs look like Microsoft Office for some reason. Some people do, anyway. So ChessBase and Fritz, I believe, starting with, as I recall, it was Fritz 6 and ChessBase 8, switched their look to look more like the Microsoft Office of the period. Well, starting last year, Fritz did the same thing this time around. Microsoft Office uses these things called ribbons, a drop-down ribbon with buttons and all kinds of cool stuff up here, kind of just a different menu system and a different look. ChessBase followed suit with Fritz 12 a year ago, and now with ChessBase 11. So if you have Fritz 12, you're probably used to some of this stuff. With ChessBase 11, I'm going to show you how to navigate around and find some stuff in here in our next video. But what I wanted to show you, the first thing I want to look at was the database desktop. The first thing you see when you open ChessBase 11. That's what we're looking at here. And the first thing you're going to notice is that the icons have been redesigned. All the icons look different. The clipboard has a picture of a clipboard still with this behind it. We have for recent tournaments, we have a clock. For older tournaments, we have a calendar. We have things like a sneaker for training. If you ever want to see what all the different icons mean, I'll tell you what you can do. If you will go to any icon and right-click on it and go to Properties, you can pull up a list of all the different database types that we have icons for, and just clicking on different ones. My Games gives you a little heart. I love My Games. Large database, informant, openings, ChessBase Magazine, ChessBase Magazine Express, as a classical tournaments or the calendar, correspondence course, an envelope with a chessboard, all kinds of different stuff. So if you ever get confused as to what the different icons stand for, you can just come here and just scroll down and look at all the little pictures and see what different ones are. Important, big exclamation mark, kind of cool. What I want to show you there is there are different views. You can get your databases aligned differently in this window. And what you're going to do is go to the View menu and click on it, and you have 4 buttons here for the different styles in which this pane with all your databases will appear. First of all, there's Tiles, Classic Tile view. I believe this may be the default the first time you run the program, if I remember correctly. What it will show you is the name of a database, the number of games in it, and the format. CBH, of course, being the standard ChessBase format. You have down here somewhere, here we are, I knew I had some. We have some trees, CTG format, and if you have any games in PGN, portable game notation, that'll appear here as well. There's another one up here, CLI, it's your clipboard, so don't let that throw you. CLI just means clipboard, that's why it's under clip database. That's one of your views. Another one's called Details. This gives you a little more information. This looks a little more like Windows Explorer, if you're familiar with that, or My Computer if you use that instead of Windows Explorer, depending on your flavor of Windows. You've got the name of the database over here, the number of games, the file format. Your reference database, by the way, will be denoted here. It says reference. The path to the database. You have the date. That was the date that you last used it. You have the number of times you've used a particular database. And then over here, if you create a new one, it will have the date it was created right here as well. Symbols is the default. I'm sorry, not the default, but the one I started looking at here. This is kind of the classic view. This is the one I used all the time in pretty much every version of ChessBase since it became a Windows program. Real convenient if you drag and drop databases. If you get a lot of databases off the internet, they tend to appear down here at the bottom of your list. If you just drag and drop them into another database to copy them, it's real convenient. You have nice big icons to work with. By the way, you can make these panes bigger and smaller. You have, if you move the mouse, as you see, and it turns to a double-headed arrow, you can just drag stuff over. Just hold down the left mouse button, let off it, and your window is resized. So you can do that. Of course, you have a preview down here of your database. If you have a really big screen, this is on a laptop, so my screen is not very large, but I have a monster monitor on my other computer. You get some other information down here as well, which is new in ChessBase. I will try to redesign some windows here and get it to work on this computer. I can bring it up, but it's just not very large. One of the things you can bring up, and I'll show you in the future, is you can get a small chessboard, and you can get the game notation to appear right in this database preview. But we'll look at that another time. I don't have it up right now, and there was other things I want to show you first. This is your normal symbol view. Then you have small symbols. It's just another way to bring those symbols up just a lot smaller. If you have a lot of databases, this is real handy. The only thing I caution you with this, very simply, is that if you do pull up a lot of databases, you download them off the internet, and you pull them up in this view in ChessBase, and you grab a database and you go to drop it onto another database, to copy it, what you want to do is be very careful in this view. Because if you drag and drop it to the wrong database and it copies over and you don't notice you went to the wrong one and you go to open what was actually your target database and the games aren't there, you're going to wonder where they went, and then you're going to have to go track them down, find them, take them out of the wrong database, copy them to the new database. So you just have to be very cautious in this view because the database icons are smaller. If you do a lot of drag and drop, just make sure you've got good aim with that mouse. Make sure the proper one is highlighted before you let off that mouse cursor. A couple other things I want to show you before we go. If you right click in the database pane, you get a menu of different stuff. You can sort the symbols different ways. Like right here, they're in alphabetical order, but if I go to sort symbols and I select title again, I get them in reverse alphabetical order. So that's one way you can change them. You can also sort them by the type of database, the format. It tends to group them together. You'll notice here that all my trees are now together up here at the top. So there's different ways to sort them. Just be aware of that. If you notice that they're in reverse alphabetical order and it bothers you, if you go to sort symbols and select title a second time, it'll put them back in alphabetical order. Something else I've got here that's interesting is a folder. What I have inside that folder, if we double click, is a whole bunch more databases. In fact, there's a whole bunch more folders, each one of which contains additional databases. The way you get a folder, very simple, is to right click and go to Add Folder Shortcut. Click on that. And this is standard browse for folder. You see this in tons of programs. You see this everywhere. You just drill down to the folder that you want to have an icon for. I can click on computer and then one of my drives and I'll get a list of folders. Click on a folder, click OK, and I get an icon for it. Or if I want to make a new folder, you can click on that and it gives you the dialog to create a brand new folder if you wish. So you can do that within ChessBase. That's been around for a long time. I just wanted to show you how to get to it. Another thing you can do, which is new, if you right click, Windows Explorer, bada bing, and there's your folders, Windows Explorer, and you can get to different folders on your hard drive that way. We've had people want to know how you can copy files within ChessBase. Some people may want to move a database from one folder to another, etc. Now you can get to Windows Explorer directly within ChessBase without leaving the program. So that's just a basic look at the database window, your database desktop in ChessBase 11. Just showing you where some of the stuff is that you might be hunting around for in working with your databases. Just wanted to show you some different views and show you a couple of basic functions with this. Next time around, we're going to show you where some other things are in ChessBase 11. Again, this is a different display. Things have been moved around. You might have a hard time finding a few things, so I'll get you on the right track in the next ChessBase workshop. Until then, have fun.